Italianos, chef-crafted greatness in every bite. Elevate your game only at Subway. Delizioso.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Enjoy a delicious start to your day with breakfast from Subway.
Welcome to today's midday meditation, brought to you by Safe Harbor Lutheran Church. I am Pastor Paul. Let us hold fast to the confession of our hope without wavering, for he who promised is faithful. Hebrews 10 verse 23. I guess, maybe, I suppose, it's possible. We often waver. We tentatively explain what we think is true, but don't know for sure. It is a way of speaking when we don't have all the information, or when we want to show we are unable or unwilling to commit to something that could be wrong. When it comes to Jesus, though, there is no need to waver. Hebrews tells us that he is our great high priest, better than any before. Previous high priests had to offer many sacrifices, continually setting before the people the gravity of their sin and their need of a Savior. Then the Savior came and offered himself as the sacrifice, as had been foretold. The Father has accepted his sacrifice, and he has accepted it in our place. No other is needed. Our punishment for sin was paid once for all. Now the Lord does not even remember our sins. We are completely forgiven without a doubt. So hope is certain, it is unwavering, and we hold fast to it. There is no I guess or maybe, because it is not something we think just might be true. It is absolutely certain. It is from our Savior, and he who promised is faithful. We pray. Lord, you are faithful. Thank you for the sure hope of forgiveness and salvation that we have in Jesus our Savior. In his name we pray. Amen. You're welcome to join us every Sunday, 10 a.m. at Safe Harbor Lutheran Church, 20 Memorial Crescent, or call us at 926-5491 for more information. God bless your day.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
Caymanians have historically taken pride in their community spirit and willingness and ability to assist their own. However, this traditional sense of community support began to disintegrate as the island grew and modernized. Recognizing the need to assist, under the lobbying efforts of Miss Sybil Joyce Hilton, the Cayman Islands government created the Probation and Welfare Unit in 1964 with a budget of £2,240. The need for services continued to grow, and by the new millennia, social services were operating with a staff of 200 people and a budget of $12 million. Ms. Joyce, affectionately known as the Mother of Probation, successfully lobbied the government to make changes to the way juvenile cases were processed in the court system, helped establish a probation office as well as a juvenile court system, and became the first probation and welfare officer in the country. In 1968, Ms. Joyce was honored with the Cayman Islands Certificate and Badge of Honor and received the designation of MBE in 1978. In 2011, she was designated as a National Hero of the Cayman Islands, and in 2013 was honored as Youth Services Pioneer by the Cayman Islands government.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way, positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman's historical vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama. And Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital, always there for you. Call 949-6066.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk Today.
What is on your mind, Cayman? If you are ready to talk, we are ready to listen. Here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, welcome and thank you for joining us for another magnificent Monday's edition of our monthly Mental Health Matters show. We're going to be talking about, the career pathways in mental health. We have the great tutelage, the direction, counsel, and production of Dr. Alexandra Borden from One Course Cayman, and from the Wellness Center, psychologist Mr. Juan Nixon as our guest. So please stay tuned. This is not only to encourage you into your mental health, but also your children in their careers. So stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is reminding you.
Avoid any statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use indecent language or make any statement that is false or misleading. Call 1-800-534-8255, 949-6990. 949-8037 or WhatsApp us on 925-3261.
Email Talk Today at candw.ky. Let your voice be heard. And now, back to Sterling Dwayne Ebanks. Radio Cayman Talk Today.
Hey, welcome. Thanks for joining us. And as we invite you to call, share, if you want to ask a question, pose a comment, clarification, otherwise, 949-8037 or toll free with the compliments of Flow at 1-800-534-8255. It's our monthly Mental Health Matters show, and as I always say, publicly and privately, I don't know how Dr. Alexandra Borden manages to balance it the way you do, but thanks very much, because this discussion has been not just, for me, personally beneficial, but through our discussions, more and more people are recognizing the importance to have a licensed, competent professional to have a conversation with. Again, unless I misunderstand, I certainly don't want to misspeak, but it isn't because you have an issue why you're seeing a professional. Sometimes that's the best time. What they say, you pray to thank God when everything's going good. Don't wait till it's all going bad.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but that's kind of when I pray most. God, not today. But give thanks in all things. And if we go to the physician, the medical professional, see her as a checkup to make sure things would be better than going when you already have something that has been so, delayed that you denied it. Now it's got to a point where it's kind of late.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's important.
Yeah, no, there's never a wrong time to go and see someone. If you're under pressure, if you just have some questions, you think it would be helpful just to have some space to be able to explore some ideas and figure out maybe your next step in family, career, profession, personal goals, whatever it is. It can always be helpful. Even like a lot of times, so even when clients are already in therapy with me, the way that I'll often use that is even with like a psychiatrist, even if they're not interested in medications now, but it's something that may be helpful. Sometimes I'll say, let's just touch base. Mm-hmm. That way they already know you already have a record open, you've already done the background history, and you're not in crisis going in, trying to get medications and support and connect with someone then, right? When it can already be overwhelming. So sometimes it can be helpful just to touch base sooner rather than later.
And that's an interesting story, Ms. Siobhan. I want to invite you into the conversation. Ms. Siobhan Nixon, psychologist.
Just wanted to add really quickly that, when I have a client who's new to my couch, I always like to tell them that, therapy can be interventive, preventative, or used in a crisis. So similar when you look at it from a medical standpoint. So, like you were saying, if you feel like you're about to get the flu, you're going to go and seek attention before it actually hits to that point. Similarly, if you're starting to see if your sleep is a little bit off, you're a little bit more irritable. So now there's really not an interventative part as yet, because I'm now trying to prevent something, but then the intervention would come when I'm now in the middle of it. Now I'm feeling depressed. I have full-blown anxiety. Now we've gone from a preventative measure to an interventative type of measure.
And I'm hopeful that through this discussion, recognizing that many of us know we're listening hopefully for our own career paths, our own benefit, but we have children, siblings, and nieces and nephews, cousins. We have friends who have children. This is the summer. We're almost through, in the month of July already, even though it's a few days in. And our children will be going back to school. Some are going to be moving from one school to the next, one grade to the next. Some are probably graduating thinking, what are they going to do? Is it a gap year? Are they going to sixth form? And as we talk about careers, through you and your guidance, I invite you to ask us, are we considering this field, and what does this field look like? Right or wrong, I share with my friends, you can become an accountant, and you can work in an accounting firm, but you may not have to, you may not want to. You can work in a bank, you can work in a law firm and be the CFO, you can work in a hotel, you can come work with government. Okay, public and private accounting is a bit different, but your accounting degree doesn't mean that you have to be an accountant in order to in an accounting firm, like with a lawyer. But some must think, I got a degree in psychology, what do I do? And I have some ideas, but you tell me.
No, I think you're very fortunate today to have two Caymanian psychologists with you. It's definitely not an easy path, and I think my father was a little heartbroken when I chose psychology over law many years ago. He's come around. Once he found out I was going to be a doctor, it became okay. He forgave me. But you don't have to go that path. And so I really appreciate the opportunity today to share about Ms. Siobhan and I will share kind of our pathways, how we got to where we are, as well as other options that are available. It's definitely not a long established path in Cayman, and it's tricky because of the licensing requirements in Cayman as well, which is where I really appreciate the opportunity to discuss it today. For anyone who might be considering it, there's definitely a lot more support and guidance on island now than there was, and so we'll be sharing all those resources that may be available. We've had, teaching from UCCI, I've had a few of my students go off to graduate school. So there's not many Caymanians in the field right now, and definitely therapy is a field where it's really important to feel heard and connected. And so I think it would be really helpful to have more of us in the field. For many reasons. So I really hope that someone listening today, if they have any questions, will find it helpful and will be willing to reach out to either myself or Ms. Siobhan or the Psychological Association or any of the resources that we'll discuss to see what they want to do, because it doesn't have to be, obviously I have my doctorate in clinical psychology, but that's not the path everyone has to take. And there's a lot of options to be able to help people.
I'm hoping that you will share with us, because sometimes we as teacher, even the careers guidance officer, whatever that's term, however that's framed in our schools, or the coach who's trying to encourage us into education. But sometimes the parent, we're well intentioned, but we probably don't understand some of the things, or to the extent that we can. So if you help us, therapist, counselor, psychologist, just those words alone, are they synonymous? Do they have different meanings? If so, why? And what do I become in order to be licensed? And that is something I think is too important for us to not discuss.
Of course.
You're not going to just go to a fellow who may have gone to med school, may have quit, may have flunked out, may understand a lot, but didn't pass that test to show that that person has that competence. Why not with everything else?
Right.
And I don't mind sharing my journey.
Yes, please.
When I think about where psychology is today within the Cayman Islands, certainly not the way it was when I was growing up. When I thought about what I wanted to do as a career. At one point, I wanted to be an actress, of course. And, when my parents asked me how I was going to make that work, I was like, I don't know, but you better send me to the U.S. because that's what I'm going to be doing. So they were like, you need a little something more substantial than that. And I was like, okay. So then I thought about accounting because that was the field that my mom was in, my brother went in. And then I was like, wait a minute, I hate math and I suck at math, so that ain't going to work. And then I realized that I liked helping people, but I didn't know what profession that fit into because back then psychology was not this woke term. Mental health was not the woke term that it is today. Back then, you didn't hear much about it at all. Make myself sound old and dated, but I'm not.
One line is usually
so yeah, I was, just kind of looking around, and two things that kind of caught my eyes. I was doing my own internet research was social work, and I explored that a little bit, thought about the pros and cons, kind of ruled that out, and then psychology popped up, and then I was like, okay. And then I started to explore that a little bit more. And then I ran into the issue of okay, there's so much stuff to do within the field of psychology, which way is up, which way is down, what do I choose, yada, yada. But I was like, I'll get to that point. So I just started first by looking for bachelor programs that were with psychology. So then I ended up going to Canada and doing my bachelor's degree in psych with a minor in sociology as a Bachelor of Arts. Sometimes it can be done under the Bachelor of Science. It just depends on the program. And so after that, I remember my advisor saying that, it would be helpful to get some experience within the field. So I was like, I'm going back to Cayman. Where is there to get experience?
Where's the field?
Back home. I was like, I don't know about that one. And so they advised maybe looking into residential facilities. And I was like, well, we only got 2 of those. So I said, let me try that out. Without even really understanding what it meant to work at a residential facility, I just jumped on in and I was like, I'm going to do it. So then I ended up working at Francis Bodden back then for 3 years. I think now it's known as the Children's Home, but back then it was Francis Bodden's Girls' Home. No day was ever the same, but it was certainly insightful and good, valuable experience. And so after that, I then went back and pursued my master's. And then at that point, that's where you now want to start thinking about what area of psychology you want to get into, because, one of the things that's so awesome about psych is it's not limited, right? Like you were kind of talking about with the accounting degree, I've seen some people, they want that face-to-face contact. Others are more behind the scenes. They're not really interested in the therapy realm of things. And psych accommodates for all of that. When I thought about just how small Cayman is and how, you're meant to be quite versatile, because even when I was considering social work, it's not like the States where you can specialize in one area of social work and that's just your area. Here, we're kind of forced to dip in every little pot and, be a jack of all trades, but a master of none. And so that's how I ended up choosing clinical psych, because I wanted to be able to do psych assessments if the need ever arise, which I don't want to do it. I like my couch and my counseling side of things. But I was like, you know what? Let me just get the experience. If I need it, I need it. And then I have the therapeutic side of things. And so that's how I ended up going into clinical psych.
Well, when we come back from the break, let's talk more about that, because sometimes we, as parents, as the adults in the lives of that young person, we want to do right by them. And it's only after, thankfully, you recognize accounting wasn't for you. I love the math. It's good at it. Not to boast. It's just numbers, right?
Not my forte.
Yeah, numbers are numbers. They're easy, And yet accounting wasn't what I wanted, but that was everything that was being offered. How do you blend that? So you found your path. Let's talk about it. Let's get our parents to consider those conversations with their children, even that child now who's going to be thinking of high school, options and the like, if they still do that. So when you come back, we can have that discussion. DJ Lane, can you go get some chocolate for us? Okay, stay tuned.
It's that time of year again. Cayman Airways is celebrating its anniversary with airfares on sale. Tickets are now on sale for some of your favorite destinations: Miami, Tampa, New York, Los Angeles, Kingston, La Ceiba, Panama, Havana, and even Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. But hurry, this sale ends August 10th. Other conditions apply. Book online at CaymanAirways.com or call 949-2311. Cayman Airways, celebrating 56 years as Cayman's award-winning national airline.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Refer a friend and get $50 to spend when your friend or family member opens a personal account with Cayman National. From July 9th to September 30th, 2024, CNB customers can earn $50 for each referral who opens an individual or joint personal account. Earn up to $500 with a maximum of 10 referrals. Visit CaymanNational.com for more details on this promotion and follow us on social media for updates. Terms and conditions apply.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
Prescription refills made easy at Savannah Pharmacy. WhatsApp your prescription refills to 929-5045.
Cayman Islands, your opportunity to shape our future continues. All district public consultation meetings for the draft of the planning statement may be completed, yet we are still asking for your ideas. Go online, www.plancayman.ky. Complete the survey. Share your valuable thoughts before August 6th. Let's all continue to work together to move our country forward. We cannot do this without you. Join us in building a sustainable future. Let's get it right. Share your comments, thoughts, questions on the draft planning statement. This is our mission statement. First step towards Cayman's newest development plan. Visit www.plancayman.ky. Be part of the change.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining us, and thanks to Dr. Alexandra Borden from OnCourse Cayman and from the Wellness Center, Ms. Siobhan Nixon, for joining us. I'm hoping that as we're listening, it's not just the monthly mental health matters, but this month's discussion of career pathways in mental health that will cause parents in particular to take a keen interest and maybe in having a discussion with their children about possible careers. Again, I come to this wanting to learn. I always believe that you're never too old to learn. You're never too old to pursue something that you were desirous of. But maybe because of work, maybe because of family, maybe because of finances, there was some reason that precluded you from at that point. And I think of psychology, and there was what area? Organizational behavior. I don't know what it's called now, but that's what it's called then.
Yep. Industrial organizational psych.
Yep. Yeah. And then we got HR, but now it's called human resource or whatever it is now.
They have some fancy words.
Yeah, they're all similar in terms of what in psychology degree could help. Right. We see large organizations having on-staff psychologists.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and that's the thing, is that it's tricky.
Yeah.
And you so like I've had lots of students come through. So obviously I still teach at UCCI, and I've had interns as well. I work with a lot of other students as well that find out about me and reach out, and so there is a lot of different areas. Even and some of it's intricate: counseling versus clinical psych, HR versus IO psych, and so that's where I always ask students when I meet with them. The first thing is, what do you want to do in the end? And then you work back from there, right? I think that so myself and Dr. Shannon Seymour had started the Psychological Association, and that was because she and I both saw a need for guidance for students. Too often we see students going overseas, completing a master's or even a doctorate, and coming home without being able to practice, which is hard, right? So that's where we're working with students to help them understand the licensing process, which I'll go into. In Cayman is difficult because you have to be licensed somewhere else to get licensed here. It's a very complicated process. But that's where, when you're starting out for your graduate program, it's important to know what you want to do in the end.
Okay.
If you're opting for something like research, you can do what you want. A master's will set you up for research in whatever field you're studying in. But a lot of times the very fancy sounding master's degrees, I've heard like master's degrees in like child development or mental health or psychological applications that don't involve any clinical training, which is not going to get you a license. And so that's where whatever you want to do in the end, I ask students to work backwards. If you want to do talk therapy, psychotherapy, that can be psychology. So as Ms. Siobhan had explained, clinical psych is kind of top of the top. We are trained to work in hospitals, to do assessments, we can do admin, we can do teaching, we can do research. We are trained with the most severe pathology. Some just I have a friend that's got her doctorate in clinical psych, and now she's just a very fancy yoga teacher, right? But brings all her research and evidence-based training into that, to everything in running hospitals. So there's pretty much anything that we can do. If you're not looking for assessments or maybe the more severe psychopathology, but looking more of a counseling approach or a wellness approach, obviously clinical psych can do adjustment issues as well. But if you're not looking for that kind of realm, mental health counseling can be an option, and they're going to deal with more kind of adjustment issues, more general counseling, changes in life, minor stresses, maybe minor anxiety, depression, but not do as much as diagnosis and assessment. And that's going to be more of the counseling realm. Marriage family therapists are going to have a slightly different training. They are also going to do talk therapy, but they're going to do more of the marriage counseling. They'll do family therapy. We've had a few on here as well. So sometimes they do individual work as well, but they still work from a systems perspective. So the way they interact with clients is going to be a little bit different from the counselors and the psychologists. So they get into other ones like the substance abuse counselors, which are only going to work within substance abuse. And then we also have a whole range of ABA therapists, which work primarily with autism, applied behavioral analysis therapists, and they do primarily work with autism with children. So they have a lot of other skill sets. Their skill sets can be applied in some other ways as well. And that's actually one that's more accessible in Cayman because both Wellness Center and I think Hope and Cayman ABA offer internships and some training in that to allow persons in Cayman to get experience and get, I think that right now the certificates are registered behavioral technicians. So you can't do independent work, but you'd be registered to be able to do work directly with clients with that. So there's a lot of different areas. So generally I kind of start with children, adults, and what kind of difficulties do you want to work with, and do you want to do assessments? Assessment's going to be the big thing that tends to separate the psychologist versus the other professions.
You want to jump in, Ms. Siobhan?
Yeah, just to piggyback off of some of the stuff you've shared. As I said earlier, psych is awesome because you're not limited to what you can do. If you can marry a lot of things. So like, let's say, for example, you're interested in the criminal world, but then you also want the psychological component, then there's forensic psychology that you can do. If you see yourself more business oriented, but also like psychology, then there's industrial organizational psych, which I think is something that's really needed here when you think about how some of the businesses are managed, and a lot of the issues actually come from, top down, but it's the workers on the grunt level that have to deal with all of the challenges. And so, IO basically looks at how do you facilitate that communication and how do you increase employee satisfaction and different things like that. Then there's what else is there? I've heard health psychology flinging around, as well as sports psychology. So again, just going into those specific domains. And like you were talking about like substance use, that's an actually tricky area of psych because it's not just enough to have the degree. That also requires additional specialized training just because of the complexity of the clinical presentations that you see. So that's actually a challenging area to go into, just the work on its own.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, something I sorry, Dr. Warden.
Yeah, and but you also had mentioned social work as well earlier too, which is an interesting one because in general, social work is going to work more from a systems perspective. They're the ones that do they work in DCFS and probation, parole, and they're the kind of the ones that reach out and do like community like connections and do the child abuse assessments. They might help with like housing and obtaining benefits. So there's a lot that they can do. But then some social workers will have additional training and they become clinical social workers. So generally they'll have a master's and then additional training to do therapy. So a clinical social worker is another route to do talk therapy, whereas social workers tend to work more in a case management role.
All right. I think we got a scheduled break, my friend. Got to pause for the break? Yeah, he said, what? I don't have to tell him. No, we have a break. We'll take that break. We invite our listeners to call if they want to ask a question. 949-8037 or toll free 1-800-534-8255 with the compliments of Flo. Really appreciate this opportunity. I think summer is an ideal time for us to maybe ask these questions and guide our students, whether they're off to university, whether they're at university, whether they want to combine this with something else.
Looking at graduate school.
And then the importance of what that means for when you come back for that satisfaction and reward beyond the financial paycheck. All right, stay tuned for Talk Today.
Hi everyone, I'm Roy McTaggart and I'm here with Joey Hugh to tell you about an exciting Progressives event coming up.
That's right, Roy. We're inviting all members and friends of the Progressives to our National Council meeting.
It's happening on Saturday, August 10th at 7 p.m. at the Seafarers Association Hall, 11 Victory Avenue in Prospect.
Join us to hear about our plans and bold vision for the upcoming election and meet our dedicated Progressives members of Parliament in person.
And yes, there will be delicious food and drinks.
We can't wait to see all of our Progressive family and friends here. It's a great opportunity to get involved and stay informed.
So join us at the Seafarers Hall on Saturday, August 10th at 7 p.m. See you there.
Stronger, safer, future. Vote Progressive. Caring and
Discover your dream home with Cayman National's home loan. Get up to 95% financing, repayment up to 40 years, and just a 0.5% commitment fee. Your interest rate? Depending on your risk factors, it'll be fixed or variable. Plus, you get a pre-approved credit card. This is a limited time offer. Dial 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
It's that time of year again. Cayman Airways is celebrating its anniversary with airfares on sale. Tickets are now on sale for some of your favorite destinations: Miami, Tampa, New York, Los Angeles, Kingston, La Ceiba, Panama, Havana, and even Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. But hurry, this sale ends August 10th. Other conditions apply. Book online at CaymanAirways.com or call 949-2311. Cayman Airways, celebrating 56 years as Cayman's award-winning national airline.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
The offices of Dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments August 15th to the 20th at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited whether you're seeking advanced skin care, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles. Dr. Wayne Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email drporterkman@gmail.com. That's drporterkman@gmail.com. Call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That's 946-9020.
Radio Cayman, your number one community station, would like to remind you that we are in the hurricane season, and in order to survive a hurricane, you need to be prepared. If officials' sources say a hurricane is imminent, please board up or shutter up windows in your home or place of business. Remember to use good lumber, as makeshift boarding may actually cause more damage. Also put strong bracing on outside doors so that they are not blown off or blown in.
This hurricane advice was brought to you by Radio Cayman, your caring community radio station.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back and thanks for joining us. And this is our monthly Mental Health Matters show. Career Pathways in Mental Health, Dr. Alexandra Borden from One Course Cayman. And I think, if I might say, through your leadership, partnership, we've had this monthly show through all of your community service, volunteer, your professional obligations and the like. And you still find time to help us to no longer facilitate, I think to produce would be better. So thanks very much.
No, I really appreciate the opportunity to come on and have the discussions, especially, that Radio Cayman allows us the time, as well as yourself, and the diversity of not only providing information on mental health topics to help the community be better educated as far as understanding mental health and what the different difficulties that you might face are and the different services that are available, but even today talking about training pathways and how do you become a therapist and what's the process to be able to get there, because as Ms. Siobhan shared her journey. I'm a bit older than her, and and it was not something that Caymanians did back in the day, and how does it work? And our framework is not quite as well as established as in other countries, so it can be hard sometimes to find information. So I appreciate the opportunity and the forum to have the discussion.
I want to be guided by you. Thanks for sharing that, because sometimes looking from the outside in, you not only maybe you see it differently, but you, without realizing, see it incorrectly. So just my perception. Two things. You are right. We've come a long way in just having a discussion. I think this show has helped, where many of us are now comfortable, consciously seeking out a competent professional for that conversation, because we see the benefit. But also now, as if I might say, Ms. Siobhan, your parents are probably not any different from other parents who say, okay, that's a good dream, but get a real job. Whether it's music or it's in arts somewhere, or it's even other career fields. As parents, we want our children to have the very best chance of a successful life. Good paycheck, good career, not just rewarded, recognized and respected. That's what we want. But secondly, psychology, really brings me to the second side of that coin. If we're in the landscape and it's growing, a lot of people, are we creating space, maintaining space for our own? The young lady, she wants to be a psychologist. She sees a need, she understands it very early on. When she gets 15 years hence, will she have the opportunity in that career? Because she knew from day one that's what she wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering, are we doing it?
Well, I love to see Caymanians on my couch, only because it speaks to the changing climate within our country.
Yes, our country.
Island, but yes.
Yes, there we go. 3 islands, 1 people.
and I like it because it, we grow up knowing what happens in the family stays in the family, not just as a Caymanian thing, but a Caribbean notion as well, right? You don't really talk your business
I would say it's global,
out on the street. Yeah. And so, especially with us being so small, and you're taking that leap and that chance to not be be so concerned about the risk of, you know, confidentiality being broken or whatever have you, because we have rules governing, you know, how we conduct ourselves within the profession. So it's nice when you can put all those worries on the back burner and just kind of put yourself first, and get that support. And even though, you know, my parents may not want to embark on sitting on a counselor's couch because they're still the older generation, they very much still support me and this profession, and are always, you know, encouraging me in whatever way I'm trying to, you know, increase my credentialing. So even though personally they don't see themselves doing it, they're still supporting me,
which is awesome, right? The greatest champion and cheerleaders. But I also wonder sometimes if the person that you're speaking with can relate to you, accent is similar, the experience is similar. Some of us prefer somebody, a total stranger, you know, but sometimes that person, I always joke and say, God forgive me, you know, I only hear God when he speaks to me in a Cayman accent, because otherwise, like, what you say, guy? Sorry. But it's easier if your coach speaks to you and you don't have to translate. Not because you don't speak the same tongue, it's just the dialect, the diction, the accent. I wonder if that will help you when you're doing this thing, to be able to understand it, apply it, perhaps internalize it. So our own people in the profession would be beneficial for the country's growth.
Yeah. I don't know what your experience has been. Mine has been mixed. Some people want to see me because they know me, they know my family, they know my mom, they know my dad, they know me from school, they've seen me around. I've obviously been home in the field now for many years in many different capacities, because I have a lot of sports and hobbies and volunteer things I do as well. So some people prefer to see me because they know of me. Others don't want to see me because they know of me. And it's always interesting. I had one psychiatrist that I used to work with, and she's left the island, but she was joking. She's like, well, she wasn't joking. She was like, are you related to the entire island? I was like, actually, about a third of it, yes. Why? What happened? And she's like, everyone already knows you. And so, there's going to be some people that don't want to see me because of that, and that's okay too. There's some people that would prefer to see someone coming in who has no ties. Yeah. They get to be completely honest, and not have to worry about them knowing people or being connected to them, and that's okay too. Having the opportunity to own my own company, some people trust me and my family, but don't want to see me personally, but trust me in how I work and my work ethic, and will see someone at my practice. So there's a lot of different ways that it can come. Something that I know that the Psychological Association has been working on is making sure that the therapist, because as you've heard us kind of discussing, many of the mental health professionals on island are expats. And so just making sure that anyone that does come into work understands the Caymanian context and the culture and how it works, and has at least someone that they can talk to understand how things work. And even words like, one that came up when one of my friends started working with me was like, beating the child. I was like, you need to ask more questions. Like, she was ready to launch into all these child abuse assessments, and I was like, you need to get more information, right? That's a term, unfortunately, that apparently is used very loosely in Cayman. Yep. Yes, sometimes it does require a child abuse assessment and report. Other times they're just frustrated and just mouthing off. So
and it just means you hit your kid. But that's so funny that literally I was thinking the same thing.
That's been the biggest thing.
That's the jargon that we
is it a spanking and a corporal punishment being used appropriately, or is there actually child abuse going on?
Relatable.
But if you don't have someone there to talk to about it, you don't know. Yeah. I mean, even being Caymanian, coming home and working with Dr. Lockhart the first few years, I learned a lot. I was like, in America, this is how it works. And he's like, yeah, but in Cayman, these are the laws. This is how it works here. This is how things are perceived here. And just like small things.
And can I
like
add to
following up with a phone call instead of a letter? Those being a bit more personal was something that that tricks of the trade that I've learned with working in Cayman.
Yeah. And also because we're so small, being trained in having dual relationships, right? We try our best to get away from that, but sometimes you just can't. And so it just means as the professional, we have to have extra checks and balances in place. So, we'll have extra supervision on something, extra documentation, just to make sure that we are maintaining that level of objectivity, and our personal ties to you is not, interfering with treatment at any cost. Obviously, we try our best to avoid it, but like I said, in a very small community, it's just something you have to learn to navigate. Whereas if it's in the U.S., you have the luxury and the privilege to, send somebody to all these different areas. And so it would be more discouraged there than really how we navigate things here.
Yeah. And I've worked with someone for a few months and found out they were my cousin. Different things happen in Cayman, right?
Yeah.
I'd never met them, so I wasn't concerned, nor were they, and we continued.
Yeah.
We just are aware of the family ties now, but that's where good supervision is really important. And that's where anyone that wants to do talk therapy needs to make sure that they have the clinical training, to get licensed, but also for support and working here. Things happen in Cayman, these ethical quandaries come up that aren't covered in the U.S. books.
Yeah.
And that's where internships are helpful, whether like working like a wellness center with Dr. Shannon Seymour. I did several internships at the counseling center, which of course is run by Miss Judy Seymour. I had the opportunity to work with Dr. Lockhart as well, which was brilliant. So, and there's still some supervisors that I'll still consult with at times. Obviously, I've got a great team at my office too. So that's really important for managing and balancing, but also seeing if it's something you're interested in the field. I know we rattled off a whole lot of professions and areas. If you're interested in this, reach out and talk to one of us. I was like, because I've had students come to me that want to do IO, and I'm like, I can tell you generally what it does, but then I've had 2 students come to me interested in that area, and I set them up with HR professionals and IO psychologists, and they get to then see what's the difference, what's the day like, what's the different requirements to go into the field. And then they also then have a mentor for that area. Because even to get licensed here, you have to be licensed in one of 7 jurisdictions. And if students are going to the UK, I'm much more familiar with the US. So I can tell you what's required to get licensed in Cayman. But if you're looking at schooling in the UK, there's a couple psychologists on island that I'll send those students to get the lowdown on what's the best programs and what's the best way to get licensed there. So you don't need to know the answers before you start talking to one of us. If you reach out to any of us through the Psychological Association in particular, we are on Facebook and Instagram. We have a website, I think it's SIPA.ky. Our board consists of 8 different professionals in different areas. I think about half of us are Caymanian, but we've also got a membership of 100 people with students and interns and licensed professionals. And so we'll find the right person to help you. So you don't need to know which area in particular you want to go into or even what country you want to get licensed. And if you have some ideas, we're happy to work with you to figure out what your path will be.
All right.
And even, Stephen, to add to that, sometimes we're still working within parameters. So it's still very much a growing field. So even, let's say, if you wanted to do something like IO or sports psychology or whatever have you, it may be not as popular here. So you also kind of have to look at what is the climate in terms of the work opportunities, because you don't want to know now that you've gone and studied in this particular branch of psychology and then you come back and there's not a lot of opportunities to get employed in that capacity as well.
So after our break, and I know we're going to end at 1:30, and certainly I always want to benefit from as much as possible. Let's ask about the licensing pathway, the courses at university, grad school versus postgraduate studies, but also potentially what about high school and the subjects that children should take? Does that matter?
No, because mine didn't.
And again, back to us as parents and as teachers, we want to guide, we want to encourage, we want to nurture, we want to make sure that we're giving the right information, but maybe we don't know what we're saying. It's specific. So can we talk about that a bit?
Sure.
All right. Well, we'll ask you to listen to our news and then join us right after. Stay tuned.
This is the People's Radio Station. Radio Cayman in the Cayman Islands. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines. Local, regional, international news.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market and Health Services Authority.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. Customs and Border Control Service will host a public auction on Saturday, August 10th, 2024. Various categories of undeclared and seized goods will be auctioned from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. in the parking lot of Customs and Border Control headquarters located at 42 Owen Roberts Drive, Georgetown. In international news, Hurricane Debbie has made landfall at the Big Bend region of Florida's Gulf Coast, with fears of storm surges and catastrophic flooding. The weather system strengthened into a Category 1 hurricane late on Sunday and came ashore near Steinhatchee on Monday morning, said the National Hurricane Center. It is now forecast to move slowly across the state, packing 80-mile-per-hour winds and dumping as much as 30 inches of rain as it moves north. The fourth named storm of the season will also soak Georgia and South Carolina in the days ahead. U.S. stock markets tumbled on Monday following falls in Europe and Asia as fears rose that the American economy is heading for a slowdown. The technology-heavy Nasdaq index opened 6.3% lower after a sharp decline at the end of last week, but pared its losses somewhat during the day. The other main U.S. indexes also dropped sharply before recovering, while stock markets in Europe and Asia plunged, with Japan's Nikkei 225 down by some 12.4%. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins.
More news available at www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
The Health Services Authority has over 120 world-class physicians offering the most comprehensive range of specialist services on island. Our dedicated team of professionals provide the highest quality care in orthopedics, interventional radiology, women's health, geriatrics, and a host of other specialist areas. We are a JCI accredited organization with a proven record of excellence. At HSA, we are committed to caring for you. For more information, visit hsa.ky.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Born in Watering Place, Cayman Brac, on the 8th day of July 1936, Captain Fred Elman Scott was the fifth child born to Nalio and Vera Scott. Captain Scott enjoyed a fulfilling career at sea spanning more than 50 years. He was ahead of his time, employing his mathematical and computer skills to create payroll software, depth charts of Georgetown Harbor, and his pride and joy was his weather program that could detect when a storm formed anywhere in the world and was able to track and forecast its path. He had 6 children and was married for 52 years to Bernadette Silva, whom he met during his tenure in Brazil. In 1954, when Her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II visited, Captain Scott had the distinct honor shaking the Queen's hand and piloting the Royal Yacht Britannia and anchored it in the Georgetown Harbor. Captain Scott was a humble man who liked his khaki suit and cap and loved to share his knowledge with those who crossed his path. He was honored at the National Heroes Day, acknowledging the seafaring heritage of these islands.
Find your dream car with a Cayman National Vehicle Loan. Enjoy 100% financing, up to 8-year repayment, and a 7% fixed interest rate for the first 5 years. For eco-friendly cars, we'll waive your commitment fee. This only applies to new vehicles. Call 949-8300 or email lending@caymannational.com today.
The mission of the National Conservation Council and the Department of Environment has worked to protect and conserve the unique plants, animals, and habitats that make the Cayman Islands so special. Learn more at conservation.ky.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back, and to Dr. Alexandra Borden from One Course Cayman, and from the Wellness Center, Ms. Siobhan Nixon, as we talk about the career pathways in mental health and psychology, and as part of our monthly Mental Health Matters. I'm seeing, in me now, wow, excitement. This degree in psychology will be phenomenal.
Oh, you're considering a career change?
Are you willing to be my mentor, my sponsor?
You got two right here.
Exactly.
But
You've excited him that much, right?
It is. You ever know what you want to do from time you were very young? I shared with you during the break. I shared it publicly. I have a wonderful classmate who always wanted to be a physician. We've joked that he was born with a stethoscope around his neck. It wasn't a umbilical cord, and a microscope in his hand. We're sure of that. Thank God he has realized that dream with a lot of perseverance. There's some of us who we know what we want to be. There's some of us who at 15, 70 years old, we're going, now that I have time, I'm going to pursue what I always wanted. They never get there. Some never knew. And I'm thinking that a degree in psychology with all of the options, whether you're working in business or government, whether you're working in some charity, it is beneficial. I think you said sociology was partnered with your psychology degree. A lot of things can go hand in hand. So I'm hoping that through our discussion, parents in particular, because we're so influential in the lives of our children, that we have these discussions. Say, hey, did you know that you could pair that with something else? Did you know? And maybe explore. But then again, it's just my excitement. And I must share, I've done some psychology and other little courses. Business Norman said, can I get a paper to show it? I did it for me because, I had discussions with others. A little learning is a dangerous thing. I get to understand. So before we take this next call, would either you want to say anything now that I've chatted for a bit, or should we take the call? What works for you, Miss?
I don't mind.
Okay. See those beautiful things before you that I use to keep my hair in place? I invite you to do the same. Dr. Alexandra Borden and Ms. Siobhan Nixon are our guests. Hey, welcome. Thank you for calling.
Hey, good afternoon, Dwayne.
Hey, it is indeed a wonderful day. How are you, man?
Okay, and you?
Listen. I am so highly favored. I have all the good things before me, and unexpected but appreciated and welcome good things come to me, man. So I hope you're doing well.
Okay, thank you, man, and good afternoon to you guests too, man.
Good afternoon.
Okay. Well, when it comes to our young people, and they speak of stress, depression, and anxiety are three things that can lead to suicidal thoughts. If the government does not start controlling the cost of living in Cayman, a lot of our young people are going to be facing stress, anxiety, and depression. Thank you very much.
You're most welcome. And I'll leave it to you, but he used three words that are, I wrote them down: stress, anxiety, and depression. That's sad, SAT. And yet we throw about these there, but he's reminded us of the importance of how we feel sometimes at the end of the day, and we just, stress, no big deal. Feel a bit anxious, and we don't appreciate the importance of having a professional. But that word, depression, I wonder if we don't see the importance of that word when we say, I feel a little bit depressed today. There's as Dr. Borden has reminded, it's a clinical,
a clinical depression is going to require a certain number of symptoms in a certain period of time as well. But whether you're in the clinical range or not, anyone's also is welcome to come in and get some support, whether from a private practice like one of ours. The counseling center is through the government and is completely free to anyone in Cayman. They're available at 949-8789. And the Family Resource Center has a range of services. Because I'll say it's not only hard on the young people, but also even on the middle class, middle age. Think of the parents. It's hard because even things like childcare is going up. So it is going to impact the future for our young people, but it's impacting everyone in Cayman right now. So that everyone's feeling it.
If I can ask, unless Ms. Siobhan, if you want to jump in, because
I just wanted to thank the caller for expressing his concerns. Very valid. What I'd like to add to what he's expressed is that, Unfortunately, stress is something that we're all going to experience. Doesn't matter whether we're in Cayman, Jamaica, the U.S. We're never going to get rid of it. Not all stress is bad. Some stress is good. And so it is the ongoing experience of stress that it now becomes a concerning thing, right? And so this is where, coming to us can be helpful to have those tools in place. And really, as it relates to managing the negative sides of stress, it really goes back to our level of resiliency. How can we just kind of navigate any environment that we're going to be in despite what upheaval is happening around us? And there are different ways in which we can build that resiliency. And, I always say home sets the foundation. So, are we in an environment where parents are very critical, supportive, or whatever have you? So no matter what's going on in the outer world, can we retreat to an environment that's safe both emotionally and physically, so that I can shelter here when everything else seems like it's out of control? And then as it relates to anxiety and depression, those things can result from unmanaged stress. It is the ongoing experience of that these other two things now arise.
Well, I know, Dr. Bond, we've had discussions on stress and the like, and out of respect for the time and certainly the desire to talk about licensing, maybe a discussion, future good stress, bad stress, what is good stress? Is
maybe
there such a thing?
Building resilience.
We've had those, so come on with Ms. Siobhan again, and we can do that, right?
Yeah,
because stress, I'm thinking cortisol, is that the one that's not good for you? And
the chronic stress.
Yeah, whichever, right? And there are those of us who stress, I eat that for breakfast. But what motivates us, but then does it impact us in a negative way that we don't know? I liken that then to asking you about licensing. Here is a student, Dr. Watton.
Yeah. Yes, and happy to talk about the other things. As say, if there are any concerns with young people, the Alex Panton Foundation has lots of resources for young people. Family Resource Center has lots of support for parents. So because I agree, the parents are really who need support to support the young ones coming out. So for licensing, so if you're wanting to do talk therapy or assessments and you want to be able to practice independently, meaning that you don't have to be supervised, you need a license. There's going to be some profession or some areas that will not require licensure. I mentioned the registered behavior technicians. That's an option, and there's some training programs available on Island. I do have links to those sites on my website on drbodden.com if you go to For Students tab. Also on Island, we've got UCCI now offers the social work program, which you can get a bachelor's in social work, which will make you eligible to work places like DCFS, probation, parole. And they actually do have practicums as well. So you'll get field work experience as well, which is helpful. But that's going to qualify you to be able to do social work under someone. Right? If you want to do social work independently, you're going to need a master's, which we can't do on Island. To do therapy, you're going to most likely need either a master's or additional training beyond the bachelor's program. At UCCI, we offer an applied psychology concentration in the social sciences program. That's what I teach. And so I teach in that program with a few others. And so that includes things like abnormal psychology, which is recognizing different kinds of mental illness. We cover everything. Counseling theories, what is therapy and what are the different kinds of therapy? How does it work? Does it work? As well as what's it like to be a counselor, and things like personality theories, substance abuse, all of those are different classes we offer on Island. If you want to practice independently, you're going to need to get licensed. To get licensed in Cayman, you have to be licensed somewhere else. This is where I say it gets a little tedious. It would be great if we could offer our own licensing here. It's something we can't do right now. So as I'm currently working with CPAM, right? So I'm on the board with CPAM. I'm the chair right now. And I can tell you we manage 46 professions, and we manage a lot of professionals. Hundreds of professionals we manage. We don't have capacity to do licensing for each individual here. So the way that we operate, as do all of the medical board, the nursing board, and the pharmacy board, is you have to be licensed somewhere else to get licensed here. So we'll double check your credentials. We don't have capacity to be able to give you the exam and check your hours and everything here. At some point, that would be great, and it's something many people are working on. But for now, you have to be licensed in the US, the UK, Canada, Jamaica, South Africa, New Zealand, or Australia. There's 7 different countries that they have to be licensed in order to get licensed here.
So if you're licensed in Germany?
Doesn't count.
Spain?
Nope. But if you're working in Spain, well, you're going to need your current practice license there. If your profession has a license there, and then you're going to have to get licensed with the other jurisdictions to be able to work here.
Okay.
So we have a lot of Caymanians who are doing their training either in the U.S., the UK, and if like the U.S. has a lot of residency requirements, so some of them are now getting licensed in Jamaica. And this is where I said it's tricky, and so it's where if you reach out to us, we'll help you figure out the different pathways, because like Jamaica's got like 6 different options for licensing, and different degrees will make you eligible for different areas.
Yeah.
But CPAM, Ms. Vicky is I'm gonna go talk to her right after this. She is our compliance officer. She's brilliant. So you're always welcome to reach out to us. You're also welcome to reach out to CPAM directly through hpbusers@gov.ky. But if you want to get licensed, come talk to one of us sooner rather than later, please, to make sure that what you want to do is when you go on and check your program, make sure that you can get licensed. Because even some clinical psychology programs won't let you, like in the States, you're not always eligible to get licensed from
even though you have that.
Well, yeah, so it's so just to kind of piggyback off of what you're saying. So basically to practice being a psychotherapist and practicing independently, the minimum degree you can have is a master's. You know, you're not required to get a...
In the UK, it's different. So this is
In
what
the
I'm
States.
saying. In the U.S., yes.
The minimum degree is a master's. You can practice independently with that. You're not required to get a doctoral degree. Just keeping in mind that just because you've pursued your master's doesn't mean you're automatically able to then start practicing. The educational completion is just one component of the process. It's then navigating the licensure process after the fact. And, you know, before you choose your degree program, you want to think about the jurisdiction in which you want to practice in, because that's going to help navigate the degree program that you use in the type of accreditation that program has.
Yeah, because it's different for every country. It's easier generally to get licensed in whatever country you've done your training in. For Caymanians, as I said, we're kind of looking at other options. Jamaica's actually been very helpful with being able to obtain licensure, because they've got a solid program, structure that's just come in the past few years. But like the UK, like you might do a master's in psychology, but you have to have a doctoral level to be able to get licensed there with the HCPC. But there's some like certificate and other programs that you can do to get licensed, not to get licensed, to get registered as a counselor.
Okay.
But you want to make sure that program's accredited before starting. And so that's where if you talk to one of us, I can at least tell you what the body is that you need to look up.
Right.
But like in the States, if you're doing your degree there, they should provide information on when people finish this program, what do they do? Do they go on to get licensed? Because some you'll be license eligible, but people aren't passing the exams and the criteria, the required criteria. So you should have, in the States, it's required that they'll publish how many of their students go on to licensure, how many pass the exam, how many actually get licensed, and generally they'll have information on what the students do. Are all of them teaching? Are many of them in clinical practice? Are some of them staying in research? So that kind of information is really easily available generally in the U.S.
There are two things I want to ask, but from what you both shared out, maybe you want to inquire first. Is it then that in the Cayman context, we may have people from various jurisdictions all eligible to be licensed because of the jurisdictions, respective sort of criteria, but at the end of the day, their qualifications, criteria, and skill sets and all the things, it's not on a level playing field, so that you're coming from here, it's easier than coming from here. Like the UK, for instance, you say a doctoral. I'm just wondering, what does that mean for us as the jurisdiction? We got these people licensed, but they're not all apples to apples.
Right, and that's where, then it gets a bit tedious, right? And it can be hard, and that's where I really like the shows where we talk about the differences in training. Any professional, if they're in practice and they're licensed, they'll have to display their CPAM license. Caymanians don't need a healthcare facility, but anyone else will have to have an HPC license as well. They'll have to be affiliated with a healthcare facility in order to practice.
Commission,
the Health Practice Commission, exactly. And any professional should ethically be able to share their training and their credentials.
Okay.
So there's going to be some other areas that you'll get into are things like pastoral counseling. So some pastors do counseling, then there's also pastoral counselors, which maybe don't always line up for licensure and will have a slightly different approach. Generally coming, like a lot of it's like Bible-based and that kind of stuff. But even if you're not wanting to operate independently, there's other routes like the RBT and psychology, like technicians or assistants, and there's different options where there's like students can come in and get experience in different capacities, but that's never going to make you eligible for for independent practice.
And you said earlier the RBT is the registered behavioral technician, right? And this leads me to one of the two questions. The different, I'm going to use the word counselor, so you guide me. The pastoral, the family, the other people, and if in the Cayman landscape, Cayman only, we're talking to John, or we're talking to Mary, they're all therapists, counselors. Are they all licensed, whether they're pastoral, marriage, substance abuse, whatever the different areas you reference? Are they all, they've been here for a year, they've been here for donkey years? Are they all one and the same level licensing, or is it that some are doing it and they're called psychologists or therapists or counselors or all the different terminology?
I would say things differ because it's based on the jurisdiction. Even somewhere like within the states, just because you're licensed in one state doesn't automatically mean you can practice in another one. So even within the United States, 50 states, one can't just go across border.
But in the Cayman context, if we have these different people practice...
I was just sharing that as an example to say that... experience even will differ. So similar to people who are coming from different countries, we're all going to have differing levels of, training. But at the end of the day, we still have to be trained. And so I think with CPAM, at least you're checking at least a minimum level of requirement has been met before being able to practice.
And Ms. Siobhan, I really appreciate you sharing that in the U.S. with different states, because yes, it is the United States, but if you're in Florida, is that the same in Texas, California, Massachusetts? So we know that.
Canada with a very different provinces as well. So no, everything's going to be different. But I think, so if it is someone who's saying that they're doing psychotherapy or they're doing psychology or they're doing counseling, call CPAM. There's if you go on the website, I think it's HPB users. I was just on it. I just pulled up our register and now my computer's off. But if you Google CPAM Cayman, we have our register there. There's a list of who's licensed on island. It's updated every couple months. We're hoping soon to have an online system that will be able to check right away. If you have any questions, call CPAM.
So let me ask that question directly. If a person in Cayman, and again, I'm just using the names here, therapist, counselor, whatever the different, we recognize they're not synonymous, they're different. Do they have?
I don't know what the rest of your question is going to be, but I was going to say, but if you want to make sure that they are licensed, you can call CPAM, check CPAM, check the register. You should be able to ask the person. They should be able to tell you, like, I can show you my license if you have any questions.
So do they have to be licensed to?
If they're practicing psychology, counseling, social work, or psychotherapy, then yes. So they should be licensed. Let us know if not.
But I feel like the pastoral area might be a little bit different because pastors will provide counseling, but that doesn't necessarily mean that's coming from the psychotherapy realm of things.
Yeah, and that's not. That's a different approach and a different level. But what I was going to say is that the understanding the nuances of the training can be helpful. Like if you're doing couples, you want someone who's trained in couples counseling, but clinical psychologists can do couples counseling, right? And so with therapy, the fit is really important, that the person you meet with, you connect with, you trust. And so you might have two doctoral level psychologists with very different training and very different personalities. So just because the training's at a certain level doesn't necessarily mean that person's going to be the right person for you.
So CPAM seems to be a good starting point for that.
Right.
Okay. Because I wanted to even ask if, as I understand it, in the Cayman context, you want to hold yourself out as a lawyer or a doctor, for instance. You can't do that unless you satisfied this and your license.
Same sort of deal with us.
Okay.
Yeah. And we can also be. We're not able to misrepresent ourselves. We have to be able to say this is exactly what my credentialing is. I can't come in, like, let's say, for example, if someone called me Dr. Nixon, as lovely as that sounds.
It does sound lovely.
We're working on getting there.
There you go.
It's my duty to correct them, right? I can't just let it stand in. Now, if they decide to keep doing it, I can't do anything about that, but it's at least my responsibility to try to redirect them and say this is where I'm at.
That's your professional ethic, ethos, and the like. So it's good. Yeah.
Well, I would say psychiatrists are going to be different. They're regulated by the Medical Dental Council because they're
Yes,
medical
good
doctors. So that of the mental health professions.
Okay.
So we have with CPAM, if you're a social worker, a psychologist, master's or doctoral level, or a counselor or a therapist, CPAM manages the registration of all of them. Psychiatrists are with MDC.
Okay.
But the same HPB users at gov.ky is the same email address that can be used for everyone.
So let's go back to where we started as we close our discussion. The young person is either in university or is going off. So, but before we do, we got a call asking for us to remind of the website. So we know we'll get it before you go.
I'm pretty
but
sure
a good
it's
place if you go to
dhrs.gov.ky, but I'll confirm that in just a
the
second.
Department of Health and Regulatory Services. But if you go to drborden.com, all the links are there. So that person who's in university or is thinking of going to university, those courses are important because at the end of the day, they want to get licensed here to practice. What, not so much what are the courses, but what are the best way to ensure that the courses and the programming that you take are such that gives you, once you satisfy everything, at least you have the courses and the degree that puts you on the path to licensing.
Well, if you're at grassroots, which is you're just coming out of high school thinking about wanting to do a bachelor's degree, it depends on again which jurisdiction you're gonna go in, right?
Yep.
So I ended up doing my undergrad in Canada, so I can only speak to that.
Yes.
So the university that I actually went to, they had their entry requirements based on which country you were coming from, and so it actually required me to make sure that I had my A levels, right? So you really want to have an idea as to which country you want to first go and study in to see, well, is A level something that is needed? Do I need an associate's thing before I go there? And so that's where that's the kind of the grassroots level.
All right. And this is where, end of the day, if we have guidance, I'm so grateful, Mr. One, to you, but to Dr. Borden in particular, consistently, every show, bringing not just credibility, to the profession, accessibility, at the end, reminding of the services and to see our community increasing the understanding that, what we have this resource. It's actually imperative that we access talking to someone who's competent and confidential. Hopefully, you'll accept the public invitation to join Dr. Borden again another time to come on.
I appreciate you guys having me.
It's amazing. If you don't find it, you can message me and
It's www.gov.ky/DHRS. And then from there you can get to the various councils as well as the Health Practice Commission, which is the one that regulates facilities. And so the phone numbers are there, the email is there. So yes, if anyone has any questions, then that can be a place to start.
Any closing thoughts, Ms. Siobhan?
Don't be disheartened as you're trying to figure out your career journey. It can be a roller coaster of a ride. I started out wanting to be an actress. So
look at your debut. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeMello.
You see it, right? Just have some self-compassion, and as you're considering making decisions, we can't make decisions without information. So just, start researching, ask your questions. You're not meant to navigate this process on your own, and we're here to help.
Thank you. Dr. Borden.
Yeah, there's definitely no wrong time to start or no wrong way to start. I know we talked about a lot of different things today. So if you guys have any questions, you're free to reach out to either of us. And then the Psychological Association is a huge resource that's on Island that's up and going now. And that's SIPA.ky, and we're also on Instagram and Facebook, and we're always happy to talk to students, no matter what level you're at or where you're at, to come up with different ideas and just provide information on the different pathways into mental health. I'm so glad it's a growing field in Cayman. I'm so glad that there are more and more students that are interested in it, getting trained in the various different areas of psychology, and I'm looking forward to the future.
Literally, we have a question that just came in. It says, have a question for you guys. What about licensing for life coaches and conscious coaches?
That's not within our legislation, so we don't license life coaches. Not many places do, I don't believe.
And that's not considered psychotherapy. That's its own realm of things.
Okay.
Yeah. But
good question.
And if anyone does have any questions, there's a lot of people that have different kinds of practices. You can always email CPAM and we'll let you know if, because even like there's different caveats, even like different kinds of like massage therapists, some need licenses, some don't, and it's tricky, and we don't expect the public to understand all the different caveats. That's what we're here for. So if anyone has questions like that, feel free to reach out, but those are not.
Okay. Well, let's add last bit of that to avoid licensing. Sometimes the narrative and service descriptions are changed. Appreciate that person sharing that perspective.
But if that happens, I mean, obviously there's only so much that CPAM and HPC can do based on the information provided to us. But if you have concerns that someone's operating outside of the scope of their practice, for example, I don't know, from that question, maybe you have a life coach that's selling themselves as doing therapy, you can always submit, it would be a complaint to CPAM. Or to the Health Practice Commission, and that is also available on that same website. So if you fill out the complaint form, let us know what's happening and who you think is operating outside of the scope of their practice, and then we can look into it.
Wow.
And we do rely on the public for that. I think that I'm glad that when I was coming up, CPAM didn't exist. It's only come into existence in the last few years. But I think having a functional framework is important, but also having the community understand the importance of it, knowing there is a licensing board here. It is important that people are licensed. And if things aren't working and people are doing things that they shouldn't be doing or not doing things they should be doing, that you can reach out to us. Obviously, I'd say if there are concerns, especially amongst professionals, reach out to them first, see if you can call attention to what's going on that may be questionable. Maybe they can explain it or they could correct it themselves. If not, then we do have a licensing board here for that reason, for accountability, to make sure that people are, primarily for the safety of the public, but to make sure people are getting the best services possible.
Thank you both, and I really appreciate it, and I'm hoping that at least from the parental perspective of we, guide and help, instruct, encourage and nurture our children, that they understand that this is a fantastic career. One
it can be stressful, but also very rewarding to be able to be with people on their journey through whatever they're going through in life and seeing them grow and flourish. It's amazing and an honor.
It is. Thanks to both of you, and I'm hoping that together, certainly with others as well, please we'll be pleased to see you both again in the studio.
Thank you too.
It's on a Monday, so we're hoping that each day brings greater reward and joy and fulfillment.
Yes, have a blessed day.
Amen to that. I'm going to pause and take a break, and when we return, we have something scheduled. Miss Catherine Tyson-Sewell will be our guest, so stay tuned.
Hi everyone, I'm Roy McTaggart, and I'm here with Joey Hugh to tell you about an exciting Progressives event coming up.
That's right, Roy. We're inviting all members and friends of the Progressives to our National Council meeting.
It's happening on Saturday, August 10th at 7 p.m. at the Seafarers Association Hall, 11 Victory Avenue in Prospect.
Join us to hear about our plans and bold vision for the upcoming election, and meet our dedicated Progressives members of Parliament in person.
And yes, there will be delicious food and drinks.
We can't wait to see all of our Progressive family and friends here. It's a great opportunity to get involved and stay informed.
So join us at the Seafarers Hall on Saturday, August 10th at 7 p.m. See you there.
Stronger, safer, future. Vote Progressive. Caring and
It's that time of year again. Cayman Airways is celebrating its anniversary with airfares on sale. Tickets are now on sale for some of your favorite destinations: Miami, Tampa, New York, Los Angeles, Kingston, La Ceiba, Panama, Havana, and even Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. But hurry, this sale ends August 10th. Other conditions apply. Book online at CaymanAirways.com or call 949-2311. Cayman Airways, celebrating 56 years as Cayman's award-winning national airline.
Summer's heating up, and so are the good times. Whether you are out on the water, enjoying the beach, or gathering with colleagues for an office bash, make it a feast to remember with Subway. From assorted sandwich platters to mouth-watering cookies, our catering menu has something for everyone. Perfect for groups of 5 or more. For food that's fresh, fast, and perfect for any occasion, choose Subway Catering. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
She hear clunk and her car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money Transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any Multilink ATM.
JN Money Transfer Card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
Beacon Furniture is celebrating 20 years of providing gorgeous and affordable furniture for your home. Now through August 5th, Beacon Furniture is offering 20% off all in-stock furniture and home accessories. We offer free delivery and setup. Visit us at our location, 386 Shamrock Road Prospect, opposite the Seafarers Hall. Call 943-2500 or check out our website at www.beaconfurniture.ky. Beacon Furniture. Buy it today and have it in your home tonight. Thank you for 20 years of support. Save 20% off this week at Beacon Furniture.
The rich flavors of Italy just arrived at Subway. Say ciao to the Italianos. Our 3 new Subway series recipes, carefully crafted with an Italian flair. Try the Hot Shot Italiano for an enticing and zesty touch. The tastier than ever Ultimate BMT, generously stuffed with a mix of ham, pepperoni, and salami. Or go all in with a creamy chicken bacon Alfredo. New Subway series Italianos. Chef-crafted greatness in every bite. Elevate your game only at Subway. Delizioso.
Start your day in the know. Don't miss a beat. Radio Cayman's 7 a.m. news keeps you informed every Monday through Saturday at 7 a.m. Brought to you by Cayman National, proudly serving the Cayman Islands since 1974.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Work's new jobs and online payment services is officially live. Experience a more user-friendly site with easier navigation and enhanced features. Job seekers can now explore additional features tailored to their needs. Employers can benefit from a streamlined process for managing job posts and applications. Online payments are now a breeze. Discover more at worc.ky or call us at 945-9672.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome in. Thanks very much for joining us. And as we get into our next discussion, again, a very special thanks to Dr. Alexandra Borden for OneCourse Cayman for facilitating our monthly mental health matters and for bringing along from the Wellness Center, Siobhan Nixon, and to all the Sunday, look closely at our mental health and wellness and understand the importance. I think with that, though, it ties nicely in that the excellent company of Miss Catherine Tyson-Sewell, you've always shared the importance of having someone competent, confidential in which to chat. You've been a great supporter, promoter, a champion, a cheerleader as you nurture so many, and in particular our young ladies in their endeavors, their career advancement, just navigating life. It's amazing, and today we get to see, through you, where it can take us if we work together. So thanks very much, man.
Yeah, thank you too. I was listening to the show. Obviously, my background is in social work. I have a Master of Social Work degree, so it was very much right up my alley in terms of CPAM and being accredited and registered and all that stuff. So, you know, in my day life, I actually, you know, I'm actually qualified to work with humans and systems and family systems and everything. I just end up doing so many other things, but everything kind of leads back to that, you know, my parenting, my books, whatever. And once again, here I am on a pageant circuit, but it's very much connected.
And it is such that just through, I like how you put it, such humility and just almost gloss over, but your pageant work, as you put it, your expertise, your experience, but that heart plays out nicely in the way that you, if I may say it correct, the young ladies, you know, if that's not correct, you guide me, the way you help them to realize their full potential, to get fulfillment. And we celebrate them, we celebrate with them, or we are encouraged and inspired by them. And you,
the way I aspire to, the way I try to help, for sure. So, you know, my whole role for me, feeling like I've kind of been placed in this realm a little bit of pageantry and beauty and being surrounded by, you know, young women, hopeful, that need hope and need nurturing and fostering and ushering to their future. That to me is what's important. So that's what I always aim to do, because they are the future. Our young people are our future, and we have to be a part of helping them to get to where they need to be, because, you know, we gotta go sit down home sometime and put our foot up on our porch. I keep saying that. And who's gonna take care of the world? So we have to be responsible for those that are coming behind us.
What's that country song? Who's gonna fill their shoes? And if we don't put people in play, you know, whether it's the succession plan in the organization or whether it's the deep bench on your team, you have to have. And so through you, as we talk about the, you know, I guess in a sense, the precedent setting, you know, another first for Cayman.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you reached out to us. I'm honored to be able to sit here and help us to appreciate where we are, why we are, because rightfully the children of, you know, are our future, but they are also the today. They know.
Yeah.
So
definitely,
you know, help us to appreciate it, because as I look at the table, I'm going, wow, this is a great place.
Yes. So we are here to talk about the first ever international pageant that will be hosted in the Cayman Islands, and that is no small feat. So we're very excited. I have come with my two queens, I will call them, because I am the national director for the Miss Global International Cayman Islands and the Miss Global International Philippines. And so I have my two delegates with me here today. And of course, we want to hear from them. But just to, you know, to kind of build up to that, I was honored to have traveled to Montego Bay last year with Millie Almaguer, who I'd brought in, who became the first Miss Global International Cayman Islands. As far as we know, we've heard that there were some. It's 20 years in the making. This pageant, this is the 20th year, so 20th year anniversary. So we've heard that Cayman has had some type of showing. We're not sure of that, so we're claiming Millie as our first. But for sure, this is the first time that a Caymanian has had the Miss Global International Philippines franchise. And so our first time Miss Global International Philippines will be actually kind of a Caymanian.
It's like a little disguise, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So that's amazing. And I'm so excited because our delegate for this year, Miss Global International Cayman Islands, is Caitlin Tyson. And she was Miss Universe Cayman Islands 2018. So no one better to take this out and take this forward. And both of my delegates, we were on our way to Bali, Indonesia. So that's where we were headed for September. They were all excited. They started to pack. They started to, you know, we're going to Bali, Indonesia. and it was awesome. And then I believe in alignment. So I had been having some discussions with the owner, Lashman Ramchandani, I call him Mr. Lashu. And we had been talking about bringing it to Cayman at some point. I was like, absolutely. And so that point just got a little closer because we were discussing other places that it could have gone.
Mm-hmm.
And Cayman came up, and I was like, well, yeah, why not?
Why not?
And so here we are. We're going to be having a pageant, in an international pageant in the Cayman Islands. And my goodness, I am so excited about that, and excited that my 2 delegates will be representing. And as you can see on the flyer, and obviously your listeners will hear a lot more about it in the coming months, all of the countries that we have. So before we talk about that, let's bring our ladies in, because I don't want them kind of sitting there wondering, what am I doing here with this crown on my head and saying nothing. So
that's on my hair. Oh,
you
mean
go
them?
ahead and talk to them. They're your guests.
Hey, listen.
You can tell we were co-hosts together, right?
I was going to say that, we're like a tag team, man. So
Yeah.
I sit there and I learn from you, and through you I get, an opportunity.
And same.
Yeah. So it's just
Yes.
amazing. Well, thanks very much for joining us. Congratulations on it. And many of us don't appreciate how much of a commitment, how much discipline and determination, dedication that it takes for you to go about your daily life. And Ms. Catherine here just passes off over my social work. No, it plays out daily in what she does, the passion. If I may.
Thank you for pointing that out, because she's the humility, we love it, but
yeah,
it's something to be proud of for sure.
It is. It's inspiring. I mean, anybody in their minds, anybody can do that, whatever that is, until you try it. I love to eat, but have you tried making a cassava cake? And if you did you appreciate how much work was involved? And after you made it, do you have the energy left to eat it?
Right. I've made 3 cassava cakes in my life, and my arms can't do it without grating. I was like, I got to get somebody else to do it.
Wow.
It's a lot of work, and you
It is a lot of
appreciate
work.
what it is, right? So thank you for recognizing that. That could be with anything. But with that, maybe respectfully to Miss Global International Philippines. Well, Ms. Caitlin, we'll start with you first.
Yes.
Welcome. Share with us.
Thank you so much for having us. For those listening, I'm Caitlin Tyson, the Miss Global International Cayman Islands 2024.
And sorry, I was spaced out. But I am Brittany Quiz, and I am representing the Philippines for the Miss Global International 2024.
It is, for me, seeing both you here, a very, very sobering reminder that our seafarers travel the globe, and sometimes they were on their ships with only a few of the Cayman, sometimes not until another port, and they were global. They interact and engage. Some still have lifelong friendships of people that they met. So seeing the 2 of you, I guess 2 islands in a sense, but very different, but very much alike.
Right.
And yet the synergy, the symbolism, the sense of strength. Now that is inspiring.
Absolutely. And that's why, I'm so proud to be a part of this organization. To have been appointed was really a dream, for someone to see my value, the things that I've been doing in the community, and to trust me with this title has been a real honor. And our national director is a visionary, going and getting the franchise for Cayman Islands and Philippines. And she even tried to get Jamaica too, but they already had a Jamaica for the time. But, to realize how unique the Cayman Islands really are, that we have so many different people from around the world that call Cayman home and love Cayman. It's very different. I lived in New York for 4 years, but you find the pockets. You find the Caribbean pockets and the Serbian pockets and the Indian community. You find everyone within their own communities. But here, people really do share in the Cayman culture and love Cayman and have no plans of going back home. So I think that that's something that's very unique for people who don't know about the Cayman Islands, and I'm just so honored to be in an organization that is so forward-thinking.
Thank you very much, because those are the 2 things, and I want to ask Ms. Catherine about the entrepreneurship and her desire to have, I guess, the franchise holder for difference. But first, to Miss Global International Philippines, we see in our communities, well, I don't know how to call it your compatriot, but anyway, as Ms. Caitlin was sharing, that globalness, which comes as a oneness, that togetherness out of our difference, that is so synonymous with Cayman.
Yeah.
For you, in our community, you're not just representing the Filipino community, We have a break to take, sir. I was hoping you forgot. But he's diligent.
We'll be here.
All right. Can we talk about that when we come back? What is that like? What does that mean for you? You know, we can take the break, but when we come back, you represent those in Cayman, but also in your country. Can we chat about it?
Yeah, of course. He just leaving the best for last, you know.
See that? We know. All right, please join us after the break.
Refer a friend and get $50 to spend when your friend or family member opens a personal account with Cayman National. From July 9th to September 30th, 2024, CNB customers can earn $50 for each referral who opens an individual or joint personal account. Earn up to $500 with a maximum of 10 referrals. Visit CaymanNational.com for more details on this promotion and follow us on social media for updates. Terms and conditions apply.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
We were on the edge of a breakthrough. I knew the substance was extraterrestrial, but I didn't realize.
Aunt Angie, what does this have to do with managing my insurance?
Well, long story long, the entire lab exploded, and the radioactive sludge went everywhere. I ended up in the hospital for a few weeks, but I was able to manage everything with the CG Online portal.
The online portal. Safe, convenient, simple. CG Britgay. Good like that.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Thank you very much. And probably on camera as well. Man, you see your friends?
I tell you, boy.
Well, that's the laughter, that's the wonderfulness of being in the studio. And for me, the distinct honor, privilege, and pleasure to sit there and facilitate Miss Kathleen Tyson's school together with, Miss Global International for the Philippines and for the Cayman Islands. Thanks very much. As you were going into the break, Ms. Whitney, we were asking you, what does that mean for you? Because you're representing here and there. You're a competitor, but you can see the camaraderie. And that's the beautiful part. From your perspective, let's hear from you.
Honestly, as I known, as I grown, Filipino, we love to connect with others. So, especially we get to connect with Cayman, where our nationality is in Cayman, everything is so diverse. For me, sometimes in Cayman, I forget that I'm even in Cayman because there's just especially Filipinos, there's many, and I'll tell you, tons of them. Sometimes I walk and then just someone waving at me, and I'm it's just because for us Filipinos, once you're a Filipino, you're family to us, right? It's just the same thing Caymanians. You Caymanian, you family. So, while living here, yes, I'm representing the Philippines, which I am honored to represent, but I've also lived in the Cayman. But
you feel at home. You feel a sense of connectedness.
It's I have two homes because I recently, you wouldn't know, but I just recently came back from the Philippines. I enjoyed my time. I get to connect back with my family, and it really was. But at the same time, it's a different lifestyle there. Yeah. Well, probably because of the part I live, because I do still live in an island, but just the lifestyle, everyone's together, it's one hand away. I'm just already at my cousin's house.
Yeah.
But that's just that's how it is. But while living in Cayman, I still got family here, many still, and some just 5 minutes away. But I still am around the family. But it's to be able to represent Philippines from a different area, it doesn't make me feel completely I'm just representing just for the Philippines, because I'm part with Cayman also.
Right.
Because to me, Cayman is home also, because I've technically lived here my whole life. Because My parents are here to work hard to provide more for me because, of course, they want me to live a healthy lifestyle, but also provide our family in the Philippines because it's not always easy. Like, especially when I was in their vacation, like it wasn't easy to like hustle for money. Like everyone, like every boy, I tell you, in Cayman. Well, just because I'm like still a student, so I'm still. So right now I'm on my summer break. I'm just sleeping. No, in Philippines, like
sleeping.
Everyone's awake like 6. You gotta hear someone's like, said, Brittany, come breakfast. Like they always offering me food. Like I can't get enough.
It's as I listen to you, right, Ms. Catherine, the idea that we are more alike than we are different.
Right.
And as I listen to you, you're different from the young person who at that age may want to sleep a little more, but the environment is going to dictate and define sometimes what you're doing.
Well, Brittany is the most Caymanian Filipino I've ever met in my life. So,
I was
so that's the beauty of it as well.
The next most, because I got a couple, I'm like, okay, I know your parents, and when I used to sin less and go to church more, I would but that's the beauty of what we have here, the desire for us to not just invite, but to accept that we need to acclimate and integrate.
Yeah.
And that spirit of, sort of companionship, the spirit of community is so evident in what is Cayman.
So, and I think that's wonderful what Brittany was saying, just like about almost like, like the village that we have here in Cayman. And I hope that we are able to hold on to that forever and ever and not let it slip away from us.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, I found real synergy with my pageant sister, even though, she's representing the Philippines, but I see so much of like, Caymanian culture within the Philippines, the way they celebrate, the way they come together with, everyone will bring a plate of food from home, they'll blast their music on the beach, like it just reminds me so much of just growing up in Cayman. And, there's certain aspects that sadly, we're losing a little bit. And I hope that we're able to stand firm in that and be loud and proud in our culture in the same way that they are.
Yeah,
I
sure.
hope that I say this with the love and respect that I, it's in my heart. To you, Ms. Caitlin, when you speak, you represent, thankfully, like so many, you're not just bringing an intellect from the academic perspective, you bring a pride to your speech. The intonation, the elocution, the notion that our colloquialisms can be said, shared, and reflected, and it doesn't take away. In fact, it adds. And that is what, as I look at the two of you, you shared your competitors, so to speak, but it's not about a competition to win, it's about a camaraderie to communicate so that the community is strengthened.
Absolutely.
And that is something that maybe Ms. Catherine, pageantry, if that's how we would share it, it's not unlike the football match. It brings people together.
Right, for sure.
When we come back, we got a news break to take in a second, my friend. When we come back, can we talk about that from the perspective, as Ms. Caitlin shared, you being the entrepreneur, right, which is almost innate, I think, in many of us. You exhibit it greatly. Yeah. Why can I not have the franchise for this one? You looked out. Let's speak to that because it's the business aspect, but it's also what that can mean for a country. And now the pageant is going to be here, the first international, as you shared, of its kind. What does that mean for us?
Right.
Can we talk about that after the break?
Yeah, we got to take a break first.
Apparently, yeah.
Okay.
Should we go to the break?
All right. If I remember it, then we'll talk about it.
Ladies, remind us because apparently we're getting old. Stay tuned for
Apparently.
If they are talking about us,
living in your head rent-free all this time,
we must be relevant. Radio Cayman since 1976. From Radio Cayman's newsroom, this is Headlines.
The Headline News is brought to you by Kirk Market.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Sollins. The Cayman Islands government delivers aid to Jamaica in support of relief efforts following Hurricane Beryl. Some of the cargo was delivered to the island Sunday, August 4th and today. Priority items to be delivered included generators, chainsaws, tarpaulins, and air mattresses, among other things, valued at approximately $50,000. The Ministry of Education is donating 40 laptops, while medical supplies are being provided by Health City Cayman Islands. In international news, Vice President Kamala Harris is expected to announce her running mate by Tuesday afternoon, ending 2 weeks of intense speculation that has gripped the U.S. as it hurtles towards the November presidential election. Ms. Harris interviewed several top contenders in Washington, D.C. over the weekend, including Governors Josh Shapiro and Tim Walz and Senator Mark Kelly. Her choice will join her on a whirlwind 5-day tour of 7 cities this week as Ms. Harris ramps up her campaign in key battleground states. 9 staff members at the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, UNWRA, may have been involved in the October 7th Hamas-led attack on Israel, the United Nations says. All 9 had their employment terminated, said UN Deputy Spokesperson Farhan Haq. He was speaking as the UN completed an investigation following allegations by Israel. The UNWRA staff were involved. About 1,200 people were killed and 251 others were taken back to Gaza as hostages in the unprecedented assault last autumn. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Check out our social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, X, formerly Twitter, Radio Cayman Headline News.
Cayman Islands, your opportunity to shape our future continues. All district public consultation meetings for the draft of the planning statement may be completed, yet we are still asking for your ideas. Go online, www.plancayman.ky. Complete the survey. Share your valuable thoughts before August 6th. Let's all continue to work together to move our country forward. We cannot do this without you. Join us in building a sustainable future. Let's get it right. Share your comments, thoughts, questions on the draft planning statement. This is our mission statement. First step towards Cayman's newest development plan. Visit www.plancayman.ky. Be part of the change.
When it comes to weekly meal prep, I trust Kirk Market to provide the best value for quality proteins. The butchers at Kirk Market are super helpful. They always slice my steaks perfectly. Kirk Market has everything I need for healthy and flavorful protein-packed meals. From lean cuts of CAB choice beef, tender CAB prime beef, the juiciest pork, and all-natural hormone-free poultry, to their seafood section with everything from fresh local snapper to omega-3 rich salmon. I choose Kirk Market for the highest quality proteins to support my healthy lifestyle. Kirk Market. Eat well, live well, and discover a world of choice.
Cayman, have you heard? Our award-winning national airline, Cayman Airways, has tickets on sale right now. So if you're thinking about traveling between September and December this year, now is the time to book your flights with Cayman Airways. Tickets are on sale for flights to Miami, Tampa, New York, Los Angeles, Kingston, La Ceiba, Panama, and even Havana. And of course, there's even flights to Cayman Brac and Little Cayman on sale as well. But make sure you hurry because you have to book by August 10th in order to get these great deals. Booking online is fast and easy and convenient at CaymanAirways.com, where you can also get the details about this amazing sale. Or you can, of course, call the reservations at 949-2311. Happy 56th anniversary, Cayman Airways.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back. Thanks for joining us. And in the studio, Ms. Catherine Tyson-Sewell, as we talk about Miss Global International. We have Miss Global International Cayman and the Philippines. Now, before we get into the question that we're asking, I'm told we have a caller joining us. I'm thinking, how do we put on headsets with the...
It's hard.
Just around like this.
She's figured it out.
Wow.
I will eventually find out.
You'll find out? All right, well, let's go to the phones. Hey, welcome. Thank you for calling.
Good afternoon, Lady Catherine and Lord Sterling.
Hi there.
Good afternoon, man. How are you today?
Oh, man, I wish I was there enjoying myself with you all. You're having a wonderful time. It's good to see that. I support what you're doing. It's a wonderful thing that they're doing. And I hope that you include Lord Sterling as your master of ceremonies, introducing your guests.
You see, and I thought you were a friend, you know. That sounds like work. That sounds like work.
That's a plug.
Thank you for the vote of confidence, but I'll... Anyway, you were calling?
And Miss Philippines, she's doing a great job. I think she'd make a good actress
You're always so encouraging and positive, man. Thank you very much, man.
So I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks so much. Thanks for
I
that
enjoy when
support.
he calls, right? He's positive, he's encouraging, and more of us could probably take a page. Today's Monday, you know what? With that energy and enthusiasm, Friday's going to even be better. Because each day is going to be... But I wanted to ask, and picked up on the caller as he was sharing. Ms. Kathleen, you were looking, as Ms. Caitlin shared, I call it a franchise. I don't know if that's the right word
Right.
to use.
Yeah, it's franchise.
Okay. You got Cayman, you got Philippines. You looked at others.
Right.
And
yeah, and so that wasn't... that definitely wasn't like some overly ambitious thing. I can just tell you that for sure. I think what happened is I got the opportunity when I was with Miss Universe on Cayman Islands. I was the chairperson. And my thing from the very beginning was to find things for all of the young ladies to do. That's always my focus. Everybody, not just one person. And so I started to identify different things for the other young ladies. And I was excited about it because, I want the global opportunities. I want the travel. I want the networking. Let's prepare you for your life, not just the person who wins, right? So our motto at Miss Global International Cayman Islands and Miss Global International Philippines is one gets the crown, but everyone wins. Yeah. So, and I took to my core, that's what I believed. And that's the social worker in me. That's the mother in me. That's the community person in me. And so when this was an opportunity came up for a delegate to go to Montego Bay to compete, Millie's name came up. And Millie didn't place in the Miss Universe Cayman Islands. I mean, she was crushed. It was an interesting experience. And I loved all of those girls. They were all amazing. And so we asked her, and she said, what do you think? And I said, well, Caitlin and I will go. Well, all right, let's go. And she went, placed top 10, got People's Choice. Changed her life. Yeah. Because coming from that loss and how she felt about it versus now, being on an international stage and getting that opportunity. So the experience for me was amazing because I went over and we had a VIP experience. We had the treatment. I mean, Lashu was amazing. His daughter, Neelam, he owns the pageant. Neelam is his first director or first whatever they call on the ships, whatever. But they're amazing. And we were at the S Hotel and we were just treated so well. All of the delegates. It was about 17 countries there. And we had about 3-4 days. I think we had 2 weeks to prepare. So we were just in awe of how that pageant was run and how they treated everyone. And so, of course, being associated with them, when they asked if I'd want the franchise for Cayman Islands, I said, absolutely. And I'm always thinking about my daughter as well. I'm always thinking, okay, this is going to be for you. You can take this. She's all like, stop trying to plan my life. I have plans of my own.
Good luck on
and she's so amazing in everything that she does. Like I said, we had 2 weeks to prepare Millie, and Millie went and crushed, did great. Yeah. And so when I got that opportunity, that was great. And then I came back home with Millie. We were different things. Caitlin, we were doing different things. And we went to a couple of Filipino events where we were judges for pageants. And so I was like, oh, they love pageants. Okay, hold on a second. And it's like 4,000 or more Filipinos in Cayman that are working, that are living, that are thriving. And there was no Filipino representative in Montego Bay. So I automatically, my wheels started turning, and I said, hey, what about this franchise? Because I wanted to offer this community who has such great synergy, who works so well with us as well. Like they really are a great community within the Cayman community. And I wanted to give them an international opportunity, which they don't have. So when you're living and working here, you can't run from Miss Universe Philippines. You're not in the Philippines. So I just thought, you love pageantry, why not do something on an international stage? And that's how I got the opportunity. So it wasn't like a master plan. And of course, Jamaica would have been great because we have a lot of Jamaicans, but it originates in Jamaica. So there's absolutely no way that I would have gotten Miss Global International Jamaica. That's theirs.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, exactly. I was like, come on. And they were like, come on. No, this is our pageant. So our Jamaican is going to come from Jamaica. And
but this is where, as I listen to you, that social work, that consciousness,
let's put it all together.
Building a community, right? And I like how you have shared that, and that could inspire others. It's not just about the entrepreneurial. We talk about social entrepreneurs. It's not just about the the money. It's about the community.
Right. It's not about the money. I can tell you that.
Well, you know my view on that. I mean,
yeah.
you know,
So really, it is about bringing communities together. The world is so small when you think about it, and so I'm going to just start to plug my international pageant here because Dwayne, you and I can talk for 2 hours and don't get to the real point.
But that means that we're good conversationists.
It's amazing. You call me sometime. So, but we have Jamaica, we have Trinidad and Tobago, we have Cayman Islands, we have Mexico, Philippines, Peru, Ghana, Hungary, Nigeria, Nepal, Serbia, United Kingdom, Venezuela, South Africa, Guyana, Kenya, Cuba, USA, we have San Andres, we have Argentina. We're waiting. India hasn't crowned their queen yet, but as soon as she's crowned, she's going to be a part of it. So just imagine these young women all wearing a crown, wearing a sash, will be in Cayman in October. I am so excited for this to be a first time for Cayman because I think we are a global place. We have global things happening every day. The world is becoming smaller and smaller. And to have something like this on our shores is absolutely incredible. And I can't wait. I can't wait to meet these young ladies. I can't wait for the competition to start and the camaraderie to start because Caitlin will be the first person that can explain that, having been a Miss Universe, Cayman Islands before, and competing against, I think, 92 other countries.
Something like that.
In Thailand.
A lot of us,
Right. And still being connected to a lot of her pageant sisters to this day because it really is about that. Everybody coming is going to be a queen, So they're vying for Miss Global International, but it doesn't matter. They're all queens in their own country right now anyway. So,
and like you said, this is really, making history. And, the Cayman Islands, we have been participating in pageants since, the 40s,
the 50s, the
And so, the opportunity for us to have an international pageant on our shores, I just think it's going to benefit all of us overall to really position us as a powerhouse country. Whereas, unfortunately, in 2018, I had a lot of support internationally when I was going over to compete in Thailand, and I was on a lot of dark horse lists, and what they kept saying was, oh man, if she only had a different sash, it's the sash factor that's going to pull her down. And I'm like, I don't want another sash. I'm from the Cayman Islands. I want you guys to look at us and know that we have beauty and intelligence and we're dynamic. We have everything just like everybody else, And so that's been something that was heavy on my heart since 2018. So now, we're here in 2024 and we have an opportunity to really position the Cayman Islands to be a powerhouse in pageantry, in the pageant world, and to be taken seriously as such.
And thanks for saying that because that's the bigger picture. So every time I'm doing something, there's always more happening. Like it's never just what I'm saying. It's what I'm not saying too. And I think this is such a unique opportunity because we also have 2 more years added. We signed a contract for 3 years. So I didn't just sign this as a one-off. I said, all right, are we going to be able to do this again? And so we've signed a contract for 2 more years within the next 5 years. And so it might not be next year, but it will be within that time. And I'm psyched because I want for when the Cayman Islands steps on the Miss World stage or the Miss Universe stage, the names
stage,
and I want Cayman to have a name. And I want people to look at them like it not just be a token Caribbean island that they call year after year after year. And so because we're such a coveted place, everybody wants to come here. I mean, we're driving around $1 million homes and everything. All right, well, put some respect on our name. So that's how I feel. So, and also I aim to help Lashu with this pageant to make this as big as he's brought it so far to bigger, that it can be seen as the Miss Universe of the Caribbean because it can be, and it is. There's no reason why Cayman can't be almost like the center,
the Mecca.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and I'm just.
I like your vision.
It's very exciting. Yeah, no. Listen, I got a bigger vision. Yeah. So I have 19-year-old Brittany in this studio, and I'm telling you,
I'm actually 20 now.
20. Happy birthday to you.
She had a birthday the other day.
Okay,
No,
so 20-year-old, we got 20-year-old Brittany in the studio, and I'm telling you, Brittany she has the Miss Global International Philippines sash, but I see in her future sitting next to Miss Universe Cayman Islands 2018, Caitlin Tyson, Miss Global International Cayman Islands 2024. I see her being able to walk with the Cayman Islands sash one day on that stage, and I believe that Cayman is going to be a force to be reckoned with. Yeah. And that's what Caitlin and I aim to do. And I bring her name into this right now because that's what it's about for me. It's always a bigger picture because I don't just have time to waste. And a lot of people will accuse me of not liking money. So I don't usually do things for money, right? I like money, though, just to let people know.
No, you like what money is able to access. Yeah. I hear you, man.
You got some, bring it.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I'm very excited about the people that are coming on board, that are partnering with us, and we're looking forward to more people coming on board.
All right.
And just being thankful for that. And it's just been an amazing ride so far.
Well, let's talk about that after this final break.
Okay.
And that vision, that passion.
Another break.
Hey.
Got to pay your bills.
Well, when you're the most, widely subscribed station.
Yeah.
People understand they get value for money. We have the fantastic sales team of, Catherine, Ray, and Anita. And that's why we have this global reach Radio Cayman brings to do, so advertisers understand.
There you go.
Thank you for supporting Radio Cayman, and through us, you get to reach the widest audience. So when we come back, more talk today.
Hi everyone, I'm Roy McTaggart, and I'm here with Joey Hugh to tell you about an exciting Progressives event coming up. That's right, Roy. We're inviting all members and friends of the Progressives to our National Council meeting. It's happening on Saturday, August 10th at 7 p.m. at the Seafarers Association Hall, 11 Victory Avenue in Prospect. Join us to hear about our plans and bold vision for the upcoming election and meet our dedicated Progressives members of Parliament in person. And yes, there will be delicious food and drinks. We can't wait to see all of our Progressive family and friends here. It's a great opportunity to get involved and stay informed. So join us at the Seafarers Hall on Saturday, August 10th at 7 p.m. See you there.
Stronger, safer, future. Vote Progressive. Caring and
Summer's heating up, and so are the good times. Whether you are out on the water, enjoying the beach, or gathering with colleagues for an office bash, make it a feast to remember with Subway. From assorted sandwich platters to mouth-watering cookies, our catering menu has something for everyone. Perfect for groups of 5 or more. For food that's fresh, fast, and perfect for any occasion, choose Subway Catering. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
It's that time of year again. Cayman Airways is celebrating its anniversary with airfares on sale. Tickets are now on sale for some of your favorite destinations: Miami, Tampa, New York, Los Angeles, Kingston, La Ceiba, Panama, Havana, and even Cayman Brac and Little Cayman. But hurry, this sale ends August 10th. Other conditions apply. Book online at CaymanAirways.com or call 949-2311. Cayman Airways, celebrating 56 years as Cayman's award-winning national airline.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
Do you have a customer shutoff valve installed? A customer shutoff valve lets you turn off the water between the meter and your property. If you plan to shelter away from your home or prepare your business for a storm, turning off the customer shutoff valve can prevent unexpected high water bills and property damage should a leak occur in your plumbing. For more useful hurricane preparedness tips, visit the Water Authority's website at www.waterauthority.ky or follow us on social media.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. What is on your mind, Cayman?
Hey, welcome back. And life and laughter can lead to love and learning. And I am.
You need the bloopers for this show.
No, you don't need that. Hey,
you need the breaks and the bloopers.
No, the things that happen during the break, we only monetize after. Just kidding.
Okay.
That is the wonderful voice and company of Miss Kathleen Tyson-Sewell, Miss Caitlin Tyson, Miss Global International Cayman, and for Philippines, Miss Global International, Miss Brittany. Now, I would try to say her last name, but I'm
quiz.
Just QUIZ.
It's like a quiz.
Yeah, you know, like you want to take a quiz, you know, like my PE teacher.
It's not that hard.
My PE teacher. Like,
I was said you messed up my joke.
It just looked hard, but it's not hard.
But you get it, right? Quiz, hard.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Wait, give us a line again.
No. You got it right.
Save.
See? Off-screen camera. I tell you, when
we missed it.
You missed it.
That's one of those jokes.
Too cerebral for some.
Yeah.
So
you could never make it as a stand-up.
Of course I could.
Comedian.
You'd pay me not to
Not
go
if
stage.
people are like, he just said.
It went right over our heads, over the crowd.
All of us.
You see,
All of
there
us.
are two people that I know. So I go, man, I feel for him. One is Miss Norma. One is someone else I can't name.
Okay.
He's trying to make a joke again.
Poor
Just
thing.
get do it to tell
This
it.
guy.
This guy. But now you. Let's try that again next time.
Right.
All right. We got 8 minutes
8
left.
minutes now. 2 minutes of your trying to give us a joke. No more jokes.
But I definitely just wanted to really thank you again for having us.
Thank you.
I always appreciate being here in the studio at Radio Cayman. on Talk Today.
It's always an honor because through these discussions, I think we get to appreciate something that we don't realize that we take for granted.
Mm-hmm.
The resourcefulness and the resilience in our people.
Yes.
The opportunity, not just to showcase and celebrate, but to admire and appreciate, but more important, to challenge and champion us as people as we excel. And Ms. Catherine, you know, you bring a lot to the table, and whether it's, I would say it's probably because it's so ingrained in you, it's unconscious, but that social workness that you have.
Yes,
that
social workness.
That desire to uplift, to inspire, to encourage, to nurture.
Don't want to sit home and just chill out. That's what it is.
All right.
And social workers just can't sit home and chill out.
Exactly.
So it's almost like, you know.
If I might, and I say this carefully because I come from a space where, personally, I think many times we don't understand the importance of the government's role as elected parliamentarian, as policymaker, as retired civil servant, as even, a community advocate. But there are times when government needs to take a back seat, and there's a time when government needs to step up and support through financial or other resource.
Absolutely.
We're talking, and again, to the two present, but to all, to our future, and what are we doing today? So government has been great partners with churches, the civic groups, in sporting organizations, in education, in all sorts of things. This is community development, nation building.
For sure.
It is, if I'm not too inquisitive, is government on board in this? I mean, can I ask?
So yeah, they're coming on board.
Okay.
That's all I'll say. I've had discussions with a few people.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it's going to happen, and it's going to happen because it's just an amazing opportunity.
I can
for
see why.
Cayman.
Yeah.
So it would be great. It would be, it's going to be amazing. When we're able to finalize everything. But for something like this, to be recognized, as a country that is, moving and shaking and almost like creating your own dialogue in some ways, because a lot of people create the dialogue for you. A lot of people create who they think Cayman is or who they think Caymanians are or whatever.
Right.
And to be able to take the horse by the reins and say, no, this is actually who we are, and to help direct people to your culture, to understanding who you are as a people, to understanding how much power and prowess you have is necessary. And this is just one of those opportunities. And that was one of the reasons why I really couldn't pass it up, because Cayman is 22 miles long, but you know what? We're it. We're
as
amazing.
they say in boxing, we're punching above our weight.
And
right?
it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
Exactly. And to have a lineup like this from all of these countries and having other countries reach out to us daily. Oh my goodness. I mean, people are like, I'm coming to Cayman. I don't care what happens. How can I get there? How, where is it going to be? What's going to happen? And that just tells you what Cayman represents to the general public.
And like you were saying earlier, like that the world is getting so much smaller, but our islands continue to get bigger and bigger. And we are making a global impact. So, we want Caymanians to really be at the forefront of what it is that we want people to know about us.
Absolutely.
When we come to shaping our global identity, what are the things that make us Caymanian?
Yes.
And so being able to bring in delegates from all over the world and show them firsthand who we are, I think is a beautiful opportunity.
Yes.
And, Sterling, I've been here several times. I know we said it's the first time we met. But, when it comes to pageantry, I can talk all day and night about it. It's changed my life. I've seen how it's changed other people's lives for the better. And I really do believe in this sisterhood and also in mentorship and being able to be guided by other strong women that have your best interest at heart. And that's a very important part of it. And I think in our culture as Caymanians, we come from that culture of helping one another when we need help. And somewhere along the lines, I've noticed that, maybe it's ego or pride or something, but, you almost feel shameful asking for help. And sometimes you get the door slammed in your face from the people that you thought would help you. Maybe they're trying to hold on to their position or whatever it might be, And I know I still look young, but I'm not as young as I look. So I've been around for a little while and I've had those negative experiences as well. But the reason why I'm here today is because of the people who have mentored me and have championed for me in rooms that I'm not even in.
Yeah.
And that makes a huge difference. So when we have pageantry, I know people are there's still a little bit of a stigma when it comes to seeing women compete for some reason. But, we love each other as sisters and we're all looking for the same prize. But, at the end of the day, we know that we're all queens. We know that we're all beautiful and
everybody
intelligent.
gets something out of it.
Of course.
Yeah.
And
that's the whole thing.
And I love pageantry for that reason. I also love that there's that philanthropic effort that is attached to it. If you look at things like boxing or like you said, football or bodybuilding, we don't necessarily expect that there's going to be, well, where's your prize money going to? What are your initiatives? What is your platform?
Right. No one asked that.
Yeah, no one asked that. But with
when
pageantry,
there's strongman competition, no one asks what he's going to do with his money.
Exactly.
A wrestling competition, no one asks what are you doing with your money.
But
you see.
But with pageantry, I think because it is for women by women, we have that nurturing quality already. We want to be pushing something forward. We want to be helping somebody along the way. And so I just really believe in this, and I see that the power of pageantry and it being a conduit for us to really create that global identity and unity.
And I want to be a part of the positivity of it. I want to be a part of the growth of all young women in this. I want to be a part of it. And if that's a change, if that means that there's a change somehow, I want to be a part of that. And I'm honored to be championing it. I'm honored to be in the space with these amazing, evolved young women and helping them get their place at the table. But I'll also say, to what Caitlin just said, being a Caymanian face to bring this here means everything. And a lot of times we can celebrate when other people do things for us, but this time I'm doing it for us. We are doing it for ourselves. And we are making the waves in our world for Cayman to be a force to be reckoned with. I repeat that again. But for a Caymanian to be doing that for Cayman is amazing. And that's not to discount or negate people that are not from here doing things. I'm just standing side by side with you. And I believe that we all need to support that and we all need to feel that national pride because this is where we're from.
Yeah.
This is who we are.
It's like, Miss Brittany said, who you're for and never for who you're for.
Exactly.
I would love very much. I know October is just around the corner.
It really is.
And I want you guys to come in. And I'm hoping as a community as we recognize the importance of this. Before I, say whatever I might say, if I give it any thought. To you, Miss Brittany, any for today. Any closing thoughts you might want to share? And of course, Ms. Caitlin.
Again, thank you for having me. It's my first time being on a live show, or not show, sorry.
Radio
show.
Yeah, I mean, we call it
Wait,
fancy say a
show.
program.
Okay.
It's our show.
Second, you're on the CTS wind down.
Program. You have to roll your eyes.
Yeah, but I just want to say, I was excited to go to Bali, but to know that it's in Cayman, where I can have more family and supporters, in a place you're comfortable and you know the place, it's very exciting. And like what they're talking about, like the mentorship, they're how Miss Catherine, she's willing to mentor, guide, just to build for our future. And knowing that I'm still young and I'm just 20, I'm just touching the adulthood right now. It's something I'm appreciative from her because especially having the opportunity given to me and to be able to present my homeland also. That's what I'm excited about. And because again, I'm young, so more of her helping me because slowly, as days go by, I realize how much I'm slowly growing without realizing it. Because the way I'm slowly building that confidence in me, especially in teenagers in that round, he's slowly going a little bit down, but then it's she helped me to pick up my confidence and to know that my Filipino community, they have such faith in me, because it wasn't only Miss Catherine's choice, it was also the Filipino committee here in Cayman
that brought her name.
Yes. They were consistent with it, and it really touched my heart that they really do have that faith, and knowing that my family, they're supportive and proud of me. That's
incredible.
That's what I like to say.
I mean, it means everything to me. And, like I say, pageants, it's like my Super Bowl. I don't really watch sports or anything, but I just enjoy this process. I obviously can't get enough. And for the last few years, I've been behind the scenes training girls, to go and compete internationally and getting them ready. And so to kind of take this seat again it's refreshing, and it feels different this time around with everything that I know now, everything that I've experienced now. And I'm excited to be able to share that with Brittany, to be able to share that with all of the girls that are going to be coming here in October. And again, I just thank everyone who has been a part of my journey from the very beginning and is still a part of my journey now, like you, Sterling. And I did want to give a quick shout out to some of the people who are on board with us already, like the Princess Jewelers, Performance Lab, Cayman Islands Customs Agency, Seco Avis, just to name a few.
Reliable Industries, Cayman Surgery,
Cayman Business Machines,
for sure, Fashion Mart,
Island Style Boutique. Yeah, we just had so many people that have come on board and believed in us from the very beginning, and so we
finishing touch for our crowns.
Well, I was going to save that for last. Thank you so much for the finishing touch. And so I just want to say that it makes such a difference. It's about community support as well as we're out here in the community trying to raise the profile for Cayman globally. So we hope that more people will get on board. And if you're interested to learn more, make sure to follow us on Instagram, Miss Global International Cayman and Miss Global International Philippines, as well as check out our website, mgicayman.com. If you want to learn more about the pageant that's coming up or get your tickets, make sure to go to mgicayman.com and be notified.
Yes, mgicayman.com, and do follow us on Instagram, Miss Global International Philippines, Miss Global International Cayman Islands. Right now, you're on your phone, so go ahead and just press follow on that. Facebook, like all that stuff. So support the journey. Want to thank the Wharf, who has come on board and just so helpful in so many ways. We have so many people to thank, and we're going to be doing a culture day at the Turtle Farm, the Turtle Center. Yes. So I'm sure they'll come and talk to you guys about that with all of our delegates, because it's going to be up to maybe 30, so between 25 and 30. So it could be more.
You just need a couple already. 18's set on the thing, and then you added India's coming on board and others.
Yeah, there's a lot
Argentina.
more.
Yeah,
a few more
exactly. So I've already said exactly.
Yeah.
So
and also registration has been extended, and there's a special rate for other nationalities who are living within the Cayman Islands. If it's been your dream to represent your country in an international competition,
Nicaragua,
then make sure to go to mgikcayman.com/apply.
Belize,
go for it.
Barbados, Bahamas. These are people that live here. I run into them every day.
Yep.
We'd love to see them their country represented.
Absolutely.
That's
so make
what Cayman is. 130 over 130 nationalities. That's what I saw the other day.
I think it's
over
more than
130 nationalities.
Well, I want to bring you back in whenever you wish, because I think what you're sharing not only can inspire, but I like. As you were chatting, the three of you, I was reminded of a name, Carla A. Harris. Of all the books I've read and authors, who penned and people I've interviewed, I wouldn't tell you how long ago it was that she was in the studio, but I remember it. And she talked about a number of things, not just a Harvard grad, not just being a woman working on Wall Street, but the importance of knowing who you are, owning your faith, making you be you, because that's, everybody else is taken, right? But she talked about being a sponsor. We all need mentors. We all need this. But one person needs a sponsor, and that's what you have.
Absolutely.
It's not just a sponsor for your sash. It's that person who is going to, Ms. Caitlin said it, talk about you when you're not in the room, but in a good way, to promote, support, encourage, and champion you.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to be as a country. I don't make any bones about loving this place. I make no apology for my national pride.
Right.
If in my emotional cry, as it were, to champion us, you offended, then maybe it's how I say it, but maybe it's how you receive it. But to be this Philippines Global in the Cayman Islands, or Mr. Nuros or Nicaragua or whatever, a country that has hundreds of different nationalities,
right?
A seafaring heritage that went the world, whose name and passport carried weight. It reminds us that we're more alike than we are different.
Absolutely.
And through that togetherness, we have strength.
Yes.
I'm honored to sit in your presence. I'm inspired and encouraged, so much so that I might say something that I...
And Sterling, we're going to come back with all the girls, so I don't know where you're going to do it yourself.
So you tell me when. You tell me when. What I'll do, I'll be off on a day, so you can have more space for you. You can host it. How about that?
We're going to have to do the whole day or something, but they're coming.
Speak to Miss Norma, and you know what? Let me not say that, because somebody may be listening and go, Nah, just kidding. I'm inspired. I congratulate you for being a social entrepreneur. How about that?
Yeah, I guess that's the right name. Caitlin, you think?
For recognizing the importance of investing in our people, for drawing alongside, championing them, being their cheerleader, and for encouraging the rest of us to come on board. We give her our time, our talent, and our treasure, as Miss Marlon reminds us. Thank you for doing that, Miss Caitlin. And
Miss Catherine.
Yes, I know. Thank you.
You're looking right at me.
The names are close.
Yeah. See, you messed up my joke. Now you messed up my.
Oh, that was another joke.
No, this wasn't the seriousness. Thanks. No, but it's because of who we are and where we are. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
And Ms. Tyson and Sewell, thank you very much.
Thank you for your support.
Absolutely.
It's an honor, Mom. It's an honor.
Always.
Ladies, thanks very much. And welcome to almost adulthood.
mgikcayman.com, and follow us on social media, and look out for early bird tickets and specials and stuff, because you want to be there. It is going to be a fabulous 20th anniversary of the Miss Global International pageant, period. And you have two representatives that you will come to cheer for, but also the Jamaica community, they need to come out and cheer for their girl, and all the rest that I just called out. Come out and cheer for your country.
All of the people who are competing has somebody here.
I'm almost certain.
Country.
I'm almost 100% certain.
Yeah,
I'd be surprised.
Yep. So it's a great thing. It brings the uniqueness and the oneness of us to our shores. So thanks very much.
And we'll be back again to talk details about the pageant.
All right. Well, we invite you to be a part of tomorrow's production, as we invite you to be a part of some good things. We'll see what transpires. But ladies, you have won our hearts, and together, with all who've been in the pageant machine, it reminds us that with what you do comes commitment. It comes a concerted effort. So thank you for continued, success. All right.
Thank you so much.
Lynn, thanks very much, man. To our listeners, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown.